If you've ever lived in Germany, you would know that the Germans tend to be extremely private in nature. They don't really talk about the money that they make or have, are not extroverts or flashy. And to begin with, they seem to be really cold. Today, I have one such German with me. This is an Audi. One of the most finely crafted cars to come out of the city of Ingolstadt in Germany. When it comes to looks and styling, it is exactly as that of an Audi A4. Super sleek futuristic Audi LEDs, bi-xenon headlamps, and the general silhouette of a premium Audi car. It's got style, sophistication, and is a sedan. And like any other typical German, this car too tends to be extremely private in nature. Its exteriors speak nothing of the heavy artillery inside. And it's not just another luxury sedan. This one is a superhero amongst these sedans. It just so happens that the Vigilante here doesn't really have to tear away its tuxedo suit to reveal the superhero suit beneath it. Until you press on the gas pedal, that is. There's a monster-like beast underneath the front hood that's waiting to tear you apart and devour your heart later on with just a fork and a knife.
Let me explain this to you with a little math. First, you take what is perhaps the best four-wheel drive system in the world, the Quattro. Then you add to it what is arguably the best dual-clutch gearbox in the world, in this case, the 7-speed DSG. Then, fancy a 3-liter V6? But let's not stop there. Let's bolt on a supercharger as well so it has the performance of a V8.
What you end up getting then is 333 horses, 440 Newton meters of torque, and a brilliantly beautiful V6 sound note. Just listen to this. You'll kill for this. Apart from that, what you get is a brutal, hellishly powerful, annihilating, decimating acceleration of 0 to 100 kmph under just 5 seconds. This is one of the most cold-blooded cars that I've driven in my recent times, and every single time I press on that gas pedal, it's like committing a murder in broad daylight with a straight face. There's clinical precision to just about everything that's happening around me in this car. Things just don't end there. You see, this car is one of the most interesting concepts of the automotive world. It's a sleeper. And just by looking at it, there's no way you can tell that there's a constant storm brewing under its belly.
All Audis have longitudinal engines. Now what this means is the engine is placed in line with the car. It's a 6-cylinder engine. It displaces about 3 liters, which doesn't sound like much. But when you put them through a 7-speed DSG gearbox, they are actually quite a lot to handle.
In fact, this car is not just a gazillion times more interesting and more powerful than the A4, it perhaps even potentially competes against the likes of BMW M3.
Audi has seen fit to make the 4-wheel drive sporty as well. So 60% of the power goes to the rear wheels.
Some say that everything that Audi has done to this car, they have tried to underplay it. They believe that this is actually a 360 horsepower machine and that Audi only claims it to be 333 because that's what you get at the wheel.
It's got 2 clutches, therefore seamless, really quick shifts. And sport mode, it holds onto the gear for as long as possible and shifts up only at the red line. If you want full manual control, however, just tip the gear lever left. Then you can use the paddles behind the wheel. Right one to shift up, left one to shift down.
You see, the thing about Germans is that yes, in the beginning they will be giving you a cold shoulder, but then once you get to know them, well, then they give you a warm hug. And that's just about the same with this car too. It doesn't stop it being a Quattro car with a monster engine. There's a very warm side to it once you see past its superhero abilities. It's got 1 million airbags on the inside, it's got ABS, EBD, and then there's an ESP button that can switch it on and off.
Audi has also given the S4 electronic suspension. That means that the dampers are controlled by a computer. And the gear shift, the throttle, the steering assist, they're all controlled by the same computer. It's when you use Audi's Drive Select modes.
Now that changes the handling and the response times of the car. Now usually when I'm in the city, I leave it in efficiency mode, that brings in more mileage, or then comfort mode. Because that's when the suspension is more compliant and then the steering feels loose and relaxed. But should I happen to be on the highways, a mad highway dash, or in mountainous roads, then I leave it in dynamic mode. That's when the car is ready at your command to gallop ahead like the maddest horse ever.
And the last piece of amazing technology that this car has is the sports rear differential. What this does is provide power to the rear wheel that needs it the most, which means that this car can turn in even better than an ordinary Audi.
And remember initially when I spoke of the Audi Drive Select modes? Well, it's actually a joke to call them that, because it's not really switching between 2 or 3 different drive types, it's more like choosing between 2 different cars.
Despite the high amounts of aluminium that Audi has put in this car weighs a fair bit. So, the brakes have more than the share of work to do. They have great bite, they have great feel and feedback, they have reasonably good progression as well. But when you get to 200-220 kilometers an hour, which this car is capable of getting to in a very short amount of time, the brakes don't really seem adequate.
Now if you look around yourself in this car, it's a 4-door luxury sedan. But then the interior detailing on the insides and the quality is that of a premium 2-door luxury sports car. This then is a sports car with mind-boggling performance, but then strikes a balance between sportiness and practicality in the cleanest possible manner.
Let's get the price out of the way first. It costs 50 lakhs ex-showroom. It's got a big petrol engine, it's got 4-wheel drive, it's got a lot of weight and high-performance tires. That means fuel efficiency will not be great at all. But ask anyone in our team if they care, and the answer is a resounding no. They just love this car because there's this X factor about it, something you cannot put your finger on. So, if you're an enthusiast and you have the 50 lakhs handy, buy it.